Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1472. Happy Friday. I still have the ick. I'm still coughing up. I hope you're not eating breakfast right now. I'm still coughing up mucus, blowing my nose. Nasty shit, whatever this is. But I feel so much better than I did. Was it Tuesday? Like I totally just skipped Tuesday's Hobby Evolution. Feeling much better, but still go. I just popped some pills, popped some more. I don't think I took any yesterday, but I'm still coughing up shit. So I think I'll take some more of these pills. So I'm hoping to feel better tomorrow, I guess. Woke up today still like, I still got this crap hanging on. It's hanging on like phlegm. So I've got next week will be this week is not really not a busy weekend, but next week is going to be a busy weekend with some travel. I'm going to talk a little. Guess what I'm going to talk about today? Surprise, surprise. I'm going to talk about eBay Live. Link in the description. I've got for the first time in a while. I told my eBay person this week that right now I want to get into a routine, a scheduled routine, because people set your clock to it. Hobby Evolution, 7 a.m. every morning, right? Set your clock to 7 a.m. because I'm going to be on 7:41. People like routine. So I'd like to get into a routine on eBay Live, a better routine than Hobby Evolution, of doing these live events. But as I wade through the grass, I'm learning. I want to make sure I'm putting the right inventory. I don't want to do a sale where nobody's bidding, right? I want to make sure I can handle the sales. And actually it's super easy. It's like I sell way more and it takes way less to ship, way less time to ship it all. So that's a huge benefit. And I'm starting to get into this rhythm. Last week was tough because we had company, but it wasn't that. It was the fact that I spent like the entire week before that cleaning for the company to come over. So I didn't lose any work last week. It was basically playing catch up from the week before, where I did lose work in preparation for having people over. And now I'm pretty much caught up in all regards. So now and then next week we leave for Florida for 4 days, and it's like back to square one. Damn it! And then I'm going to Anawan Fun Days for a couple days, and then Madison Card Show, the National, and Portland. We go to Actually, July is going to suck because Portland, Maine. I don't know if I talked about. We're going to Maine in July. For like 5 days. We get back, I think, the 21st, and then 26th. Is that when we get back the 21st, and then it's the Madison Card Show 2-day weekend on the 26th and 27th, I think, of July. And then the following week is the National. So July is going to be a bitch. It's not like 2 weeks in Europe kind of a bitch, but it's going to be. But I didn't go to the National last year either, so I'm probably going to be about out the same amount of time, July and the first few days of August, between Maine, Madison Card Show, and the National, as I was last year with Switzerland and the Madison Card Show. Anyway, so just trying to find the routines, and I'll get it down this week, and then all of a sudden it's just all upside down again. So I want to talk a little bit about eBay Live. I've got my schedule. I'll just talk about it now. I've got my schedule set for the next couple days. No eBay live streams today or tomorrow. Today I'm going to be catching up on shipping from yesterday's sale, which was a banger, as the kids call it, a banger. Had a great sales day. what I'm learning is mornings are way better. I've now done a couple afternoon shows, and I've done a few morning shows during the week. And those weekday morning shows, man, and I think it's starting at 10. I think starting at 10 really helps. And I did notice yesterday, because I went long, I did 228 auctions yesterday. So it went into the 1 o'clock hour. And I did notice, like, once that noon hour hit, it really tailed off. So I want to try to plan accordingly. So because at the end, like I ended yesterday with a progressive, and I think it sold for like $68. But it wasn't like there wasn't as good of stuff. There was good stuff in it, absolutely. Not as good as like the Sunday progressives that I run. There's a much bigger audience on Sundays, so that's why we put a little better stuff. But this Sunday, it's going to be Sunday afternoon. It's a 2 for Sunday. It's Sunday singles on eBay Live. 1 o'clock, we're going to run only progressive auctions. And if you haven't heard me talk about it before, what a progressive is I put 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever time on the clock. And I started off with, a slab or an autograph, something to really get your attention. Like, okay, I want to bid. Okay, that's $10. I'll bid $10 right now. And then I just keep throwing cards in. And then you keep bidding as much as you want, as much as you think you want to spend on it. And I've had a lot of fun. I think buyers have had a lot of fun. I think it's a win-win for both me and you. So we're going to run only progressives Sunday afternoon. So Sunday afternoons, progressives only, starting at 1 o'clock Central. I'd like to get like 20 to 25 progressive lots. And I started putting some together last night, some baseball and football, basketball. So I think I'm going to tailor it to, I may run a mix, because I know some people like a mixture, but I'm going to try to do tailor it to like baseball, because what I've noticed, and this is another thing I've picked up in live selling, is it all depends on who's in the room. And what I've noticed, it's nice to flex in and flex out. But what I notice is it trends usually to sport, like throw some basketball patches out or football. And I notice it is sport specific usually, whereas it's not really, some things don't sell. Vintage is not good for live selling. Some of the Bowman prospects fly out of my store. I mean, I'm selling Dalton Rushing. Write that name down and go list any of your Dalton Rushing cards. He's been selling like crazy. Hunter Barco. I think I sold all 200 of my Hunter Barco first Bowman cards. And I know I have more. So get those lists. Hunter Barco and Dalton Rushing have been the two hot names that I've been selling a lot of lately. So 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, progressives, and then Sunday night at 7, we're going to run it back, and it's singles. Now, Sunday night singles, it's going to be a mix. We're going to do baseball, football, basketball. So we're going to run a mix. I will preload. Sunday afternoon is not is just going to be, I'll have them preloaded, but it's just as seen on screen. Here you go. Sunday night will be preloaded. I will run some wild card, you call it, basically. That way I can flex into, okay, you want refractors. Okay, let me see what I have for Cubs refractors. Here you go. So we'll do that Sunday night. And then, because I'm a glutton for punishment, Monday morning, we're going to run another eBay Live. And it's Major League Monday at 10 a.m. Central, Monday morning. We're going to run baseball only Monday at 10 Central. Those are going to be like fire sales. Sudden death, probably go 10 seconds on sudden death on those. So yeah, we had a good time. I had fun yesterday. Today's Friday. We're going to play the free-for-all, or we're going to play Name That Player on the free-for-all. I've got 13 cards, mostly baseball. I think there's a couple football. A mix of modern and vintage coming up today on Name That Player. Making some movement on the upcoming Madison Card Show for any dealers that are listening or watching. The floor plan has been submitted to the city. Hopefully, we'll get word back. The Alliance says next week. They have to like submit numbers and the layout and all that stuff. I'm assuming, and you know what assuming does. I'm assuming since the Alliance says, yeah, looks good, we're going to send it on, that it'll probably get approved. But I am going to wait. And I sent the email out this week to the dealers already on the email list. If you did not receive that email, by the way, if you are a dealer at the Madison Card Show or want to be a dealer at the Madison Card Show, specifically the June 21st show at the Alliant Energy Center, send me an email. I don't care if you've been a regular dealer for 4 years. Send me an email to make my life a lot easier. So if you did not receive that email, if you've never emailed me before, send me an email, madisoncardshow@gmail.com. And that's going to be the easiest way to go about this. So I did get everything. Website's fixed, all the back-end stuff, SSL and DSN and all that crap is figured out. My e-commerce page is, I was able to get it working. I'm going to have a test dummy next week. I'm going to have a test dummy next week. Purchase tables to make sure everything is solid. And I think I showed it to my wife. She's like the ultimate decision maker. She says, looks good. So I got my wife's seal of approval, and that's all that matters. So we'll start booking the July show. If you've been in on the Saturday Madison Card Show, you're good for the Saturday, July Madison Card Show at the Sheraton, just like normal. The Madison Pokemon Show, we're going to run that the same. I'm not going to start putting names on that until I get through the booking process of June. I'm focusing on June because if I start booking July, shit's going to get fucked up, and I don't want that. So there you go. So any questions? I'm just going to say best way. If you have any questions about the Madison Card Show, email madisoncardshow@gmail.com. And that's going to be the best way to communicate. madisoncardshow@gmail.com. What else is going on? Hey, we had some storms last night. We got some hail. Hail no. It wasn't as bad as now. I know some parts north of us got hit. Mayville, Wisconsin, which is north of us, hour, 2 hours. I don't know. But I know they got hit by a tornado. But there was like Reed Timmer and all the storm chasers were in Wisconsin. It's like, oh shit, it's going to hit the fan today. But we didn't have any severe weather. We had hail. Probably ping pong. The biggest I saw, because I went outside and risked head injury to collect some hail. I covered my head. I should have worn my bicycle helmet. They were actually saying that on the news. I know it may look dumb, but put your bicycle helmet on if you have to go outside. Damn it. Should have put my bicycle helmet on. Maybe I could have found a bigger piece of hail. But I'd say ping pong size, which is a fucking big piece of hail. Ping pong size. But we did have a lot of golf ball size hail in the area. So pretty much all across our county. So we got hail. Did a little check. Didn't see any damage. Our roof's like pretty new. So this is like a good time to like, oh, I need a new roof. Oh, you had hail damage. Ching! You're in the money. So if you're in Dane County, need a new roof, look into that. What else is going on? That's about all. Hit up my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Let's go say hello to the chat. Anybody going? There's a big card show this weekend. Speaking of big card shows, the Wisconsin card show is this weekend. I think it starts today. I think it's a 3-day show over in Milwaukee. I am not going. I do need with how many cards I've been selling lately, I'm probably gonna. I mean, I didn't think it would come to this so quickly, but I'm gonna have to do some sourcing soon. I'm gonna wait it out. Maybe next week, maybe in Florida, I'll try to find a shop with a bargain box. But I do have a lead on I wouldn't say a collection, a bulk lot, I guess, of some of the stuff I'm looking for, 70s, 80s. So I haven't looked much into it, but I'm going to reach out today and seems like a good price, seems like some good stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Uncle Rich, good morning. David's here. What's up? Good morning. Gem City Card Show's in the house. Good morning. Todd's here. What's happening? Donald, what's going on? Uncle Rich says, just drinking coffee. And I learned there is mushroom chocolate the other day. Interesting. I have not heard of the mushroom chocolate. There are a lot of like mushroom coffee companies now. So I'm sure they're spicing it up. Some of these companies are spicing it up. I actually like the regular mushroom coffee, and I prefer it over regular coffee now. When I have to drink regular coffee, it's like, unless it's like a Madison Card Show day and I've already sucked down my mushroom coffee. It's like, I need more coffee. Then it's okay. East Coast Tom is here. He gets to watch live, but he pulled a muscle in his back. Well, that's a bummer. Rich says, you need that to go with the mushroom. I'm not a big chocolate guy, though. I don't dislike I like chocolate, but in very small doses. And I really like, I don't like chocolate like creamer. I don't do chocolate creamer. I prefer, like, I'm pretty basic when it comes to like desserts. If I do chocolate, it's like a small piece. Like if it's after dinner, say an hour after dinner, and I get a sweet tooth, like I want chocolate, but I just want like a little piece, like, like a Hershey's bar, and it's got like 16 little squares. Like I just want one. Like I don't want the whole candy bar. I just want one little square, and that's enough. That's all the chocolate I need. And that's like once every, I don't know, blue moon. It's not like an everyday thing, every week thing. It's just every once in a while. It's like, man, I need a piece of chocolate. And it's just a little piece of chocolate. I'm not my wife, big chocolate. Not me. Although my wife made brownies a couple weeks ago. Let me tell you, I had a couple brownies. They were fucking good. And I'm not a big brownie guy, but for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because I hadn't had a brownie in a couple years. I don't know. But I'm not a big dessert guy. I prefer just a piece of pie. If it's dessert, like I'm a pie guy. Give me some apple pie, cherry pie. I'm going to have, I guess we're going next week. We're going to a place with the best key lime pie. I mean, is there a best key lime pie outside of Key West? I guess we'll see. Although when I was in Key West, I didn't have any key lime pie. But apparently this is the best key lime pie. According to the notorious MIL, she says it's the best. And she has had Key West lime pie. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Unicorn Cupcake is here. Good morning. What's up, dat dude from Duryea? Zach says, I have scheduled routine and it involves my bus route and hitting that like button on command. Donald, how about a free-for-all Friday eBay live sale? I would, but I've got a lot of shipping to do. I want to get caught up on shipping. Although I guess I could catch up. Well, tomorrow I should look at the forecast. I mean, I guess I could. I should probably, this is where I fail in my planning. Because it's like, well, I'm going to do, this is why some of my plans just never take. Because it's like, well, I'll do this today and that tomorrow. And then it just totally gets fucked up because like tomorrow I want to do yard work. And what if it rains tomorrow? And I don't look at the forecast. And that's usually what happens. It's like, well, I'm going to do this on Saturday. And then my wife said, well, it's going to freaking rain all day Saturday. Why are you going to do that? I'm like, oh, I didn't know that because I didn't look at the weather. So, but it's going to be, so see, what I should do is I should do yard work today when it's 77, because tomorrow it's only going to be 61. And that's cold. I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait. Maybe, although I say maybe I'll just wait, but then I'm going to be gone next week. It's going to be even colder next week. Today probably should be the day. Maybe this afternoon. Maybe I'll do that. Friday night, my Friday night activity will be the garden, because our forecast sucks. 61 Saturday, 64 Sunday, 60 on Monday, only 52, the high of 52 on Tuesday. But it's not going to be like in the lowest low is 41. So we're going to avoid frost. So that's good. Zach and Porter says, why is it called company? I'm checking GPT. So that's an old timey word that I remember grandma always saying, company's here. Tell me what GPT says. Rich says, now, if you were not in Wisconsin, you would really enjoy Portland, Maine in July. See, that's a good point, because Madison, Wisconsin is July's like peak. Well, June, July, August is pretty peak in Madison. Zach says it stems from a Latin word, companio, which combines two words meaning together and bread. So company is coming over to break bread. So why do we call having company over? Are you going to have company over and watch some picture shows? Peter says, good morning. That auction yesterday was crazy. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. You should see you can't see it here, but I've got 4 row box stacked up to like where I can reach over. 4 row boxes, a couple long boxes. I got a 3 row box behind me. I got a long box to the left of me, a 4 row. I got some stacks on the table, because I'm just like, people are like, I want this, and it's like, okay, let's go. I'm running auctions, running to the other room, getting stuff. It's fun. I like that, and it keeps people engaged. I think what's fun about that is, I would be interested as a watcher, listener, bidder, because it's engaging, and I enjoy it because it's engaging. Like it's a two-way street. Like it's not, and that's why I don't like, well, here's what's going to be on auction today. I don't like being handcuffed to anything. I like the freedom to list this Miguel Sano or this Miguel Tejada. Oh, you want Luis Angel Acuna? I've got Luis Angel Acuna. Let's go. Oh, you want this guy? Let's go dig through this box. Oh, but I got this. Boom, boom, boom. And we can do that. And that's why I like the flexibility of the request auctions, the shell auctions, and we can just throw whatever as shown on screen. And I followed Max's advice yesterday, and I did write. I haven't gone through and sorted everything. We'll see how it works. We'll see how the back end, because I haven't started shipping yesterday's orders just yet. So actually, I think I've shipped one. I just got into it. So I did the Sharpie on the penny sleeve for each order. So now I'm gonna have to go back through and like sort each one out. We'll see what's faster. But at least that way, if I put a sticky note in a pile, and the pile, and they like, what if the pile falls and then cards go scattered everywhere? I've got to go through the whole auction and watch it and do it again. And I don't want that to ever happen. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I could write each name, and then, I mean, I'm just so busy going through, like looking for cards that people are requesting, that it's hard to go. But I could probably put like a pile and get a table. I could put a side table in here, just a little coffee table. Do I have an extra coffee table? I bet I do. And put a coffee table to my over here, and then just put sticky notes, and then I already have written, and then that way it's like I'm pre-sorting, and so I don't have to go in after the fact and go through 200 some cards. Gem City Card Show says the evolution of the live auctions is upon us, and it's so much fun. Just evolving and learning each auction is fun. Christian says, good morning. Life and work have kept me away. Good to be back. It's good to have you back. Welcome. Zach says, Bo trying to explain the gambling aspect around the progressive is equal to LRS calling things skill games. Happy for Bo being able to capitalize on this now legal drug of choice. But it's not gambling. It's not gambling at all. There is no gambling in a progressive auction. Because you are seeing exactly what you are getting. It's not like buying a pack of cards where it's a complete gamble. It's not a mystery pack. Like there's no mystery behind it. Like, here we go. These are the cards you're getting. Now, if you choose to bid a high amount expecting something big, then it's a gamble, but you're making that a gamble. It's not a gamble if you just watch along. Unicorn Cupcake says, yes, this new lingo is quite interesting. Spam likely. Good morning. Progressive is not new lingo. I was participating in progressives on Facebook like 10 years, more than 10 years ago. A buddy of mine turned me on to them back in like 2013 or 2014. He's like, so yeah, you bid in like on Facebook, like they would start it off with like this card and like you bid, like, what would you want to pay for that? And then they spice it up and they keep going. And I kind of did this with, I did similar to when we did the bulk sales here on YouTube Live, where there was like a box where it's like, okay, I'm going to spice it up and I'm going to add these cards to it. That's basically a progressive. Todd says, awesome. You're coming to Maine. Portland is great in the summer, and there's a couple good cards. Ooh, Todd, let me know. Because we're going with another couple, and the ladies will probably do some shopping, and I'm looking to do some shopping. So I am. And if there's a bar, we like to hit a bar as well. So if there's a card shop near a pub or a brewery, even better. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Rich says, and that builds your mailing list, which is something I stress always. Tom says, Orlando, how are you doing? Unicorn Cupcake says, welcome, Orlando. Rich Klein, Orlando. Zach says, Rich is yelling again. Orlando says, I'll be on Hobby Hotline tomorrow. Now that's can't miss YouTube right there. We missed Hobby Hotline a week ago, but now it's back and better than ever. Dr. Beckett in Orlando. I will certainly be tuned in at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Peeps, what's going on? Good morning. He says hello to Orlando. Gem City Card Show says, damn, time for a new roof for many. Yeah. Welcome back, Orlando. Dave Arnold's in the house. Bushnell, Prairie City represent. Max is in La Crosse tomorrow. Tracy says, good morning. Gem City says, La Crosse beer fueled a few bad mornings for me in college. Tom says, G. Heilman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin. G. Heilman of La Crosse bought up every pisswater beer brand in the 80s. Max says, Rough Brian, the cheapest we ever went on beer was Keystone Light. The old Key Lights, baby. So the bad beers that I drank, I'm trying to think of what I started. I won't tell you what age. I think I start because I had some help. I think Coors Light was the first beer that I drank. Like that was my brand of choice. But then I went to Busch Light. And I actually turned my dad on to Busch Light. And he was like Busch till the day he died. And it was Busch Light for a long time, and then Bud Light. I never drank Keystone Light. I had some friends that drank the Beast. Oh, I did actually. You know what? I think Old Milwaukee Light was the first might have been the first beer I drank. And I think that was because that's what my dad drank. My dad drank Old Milwaukee Light. And I think that's what I started on. And then I went to Coors Light. And then I went to Busch Light. And then Busch Light was cheap and better than Old Milwaukee Light. And then I got my dad converted. What were some of the other shitty beers? Keystone Light was big at WIU. Western was I think Western, like Macomb, Illinois, at one point was like the biggest distributor or like seller of Keystone Light in America, like per capita or something. What other shitty beer was there? Old Milwaukee Light was I never drank the Beast, but I had some friends that drank the Beast. Yeah, I don't know. Never drank PBR. That's like a hipster beer now. Rich is so disappointed in you not liking chocolate. Chocolate is a favorite of all of the food. Yeah, I don't get into chocolate. I just don't get in. Give me some fruit pies and I'm happy. Gem City says $13 for 30. We were willing to be stupid. Cooter says, sounds like you need another sourcing trip to Kirby's and Hutchins. Yes, man. I have dreams about those card shops. Max shudders at the thought, Brian. Now I have a couple every 6 months. Rich says a really good brownie or piece of fudge from Atlantic City could change your opinion. Zach says, pie works. I had dinner with Michael Nutter, and we enjoyed a slice of pecan pie. I don't like pecan pie's too rich for me. I used to love pecan pie. My pies of choice, apple, cherry, but my favorite of the pies is the rhubarb pie. Now, I like both strawberry rhubarb, but also from Door County, the cherry rhubarb with Door County cherries. So cherry rhubarb and strawberry rhubarb, my favorites, and then probably apple, and then cherry. I like a good blueberry pie. I love peach cobbler. I haven't had a peach cobbler. I need to make once we get into like the cold. This is not prime peach cobbler time as we go into summer. Peach cobbler is a good winter. It's a hearty fall. Peach cobbler is a good fall dessert treat. Maybe I'll chat GPT how to make some peach cobbler in the crock pot. I bet you can make peach cobbler in a crock pot. Rich says Hutchins is amazing and their desserts in the main store are off the charts. I'm drooling. Hey, I bought some ribs at the grocery store the other. Should I boil them? Maybe I'll boil some ribs this weekend. Gem City says, Max, if and when I come to the Madison Card Show, we will have to drink a lacrosse. Rich says we're having a partial food chat, so that rocks. But the only thing missing is Ernie. Ernie's snoozing. He took his morning poop. He pooped and peed this morning. And apparently there's a yearbook, a doggy daycare yearbook coming out. I think it's probably going to be an online thing on Facebook. And Ernie won a couple of awards. I'm guessing it's kind of like every puppy, every dog wins something. But apparently Ernie won a couple awards. So I don't know when that comes out, but we're going to find out what awards Ernie won at Doggy Daycare. Uncle Rich says the real star of Hobby Evolution. He sure is. He actually, you know what? Ernie might make an appearance this morning because we have somebody coming over to do some trim work at 9, I think. So Ernie might make an appearance at the end of today's show. Gem City says, ever sat on a Davenport? Of course I have. Of course I've sat on a Davenport with company. That's an old term Granny used to say. Yeah, Davenport. Let's retire with our company and sit on the Davenport. Max says, what is a long box? Comics or a one row? Just a one row. Just like a long, it's not a short box. It's a long box. It's not a 400 count, not a 500 count, like an 800, 900 count. Tom says, wow, Brian, that is a real sockdolager. Sockdolager? Zach says, Bo taking a trip back in time, reminiscing hearing the pie pans clank while sitting on a Davenport with company over. Ah, yes, the pie pans of 1991. Pie pans, a crow's worst enemy. The birds hate the pie pans. I'm going to be back home in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try to dig out. I got to dig out some photo albums to see if there's any photos of our house with the aluminum pie pans surrounding the perimeter under the overhang. Max says gambling is trusting a fart after a night of lacrosse beer. Is lacrosse the actually is lacrosse the actual name of the beer? I've never heard of lacrosse beer. Cooter says, use your stupid sorting tray to pre-sort and store cards alphabetically for easy access during lives. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. Gem City says, never trust cheap beer farts. Quote it. Max says, nope, just put sold cards in 2-row or 1-row. Don't have time for all that when you're live. Sell the shit and keep moving. All you have time for is numbers and searching for the next card to sell. That's true, but it'll save me time on the other end because it's going to take me time. Now I understand, like, as I'm live selling, like you need to sell as fast as you can and as much as you can. But on the other end, sorting it is time as well. And I want to have a nice balance where I'm not spending too much time sorting it during the live sale. We don't want that at all. But I also don't want to spend time going through, few hundred cards on the back end because that takes a lot of time. Uncle Rich says, you and Dr. B is good to go to Orlando. We'll be talking Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe. Uncle Rich just got an email with a first world problem. East Coast Tom says, Stroh's was my beer of necessity in college. Who remembers the commercials with Alex the dog? Not I. I think that was before my time. Max says, bad beers I have drank. Miller Lite. Miller Lite's the worst. Worst of the worst. And some other goofy craft shit. I'm sure I've had a Blatz with Dad once or twice, but Keystone, Bud Light, Coors, Busch, Cow, that's it. I wouldn't take Miller if you gave me one for free. Rich says, my allergist is moving to Houston, which is not a big deal, except when I went to the office. We would spend 5 minutes on allergy issues and 55 minutes on baseball. Well, that's a bummer. Pabst Blue Ribbon, the beer that made Milwaukee famous, or is that Schlitz? I think that's Schlitz. PB Army, ASAP. Enjoyed going, though, once a year to see him to hear about his love for the Dodgers. Natty Light. Dale. Natty Light. Yes, Natty Light was a very popular cheap beer. Natty Light. I know I drank some Natties. Max says, yes, PBR and Natty too. Awful. Tom says, Schaefer, the beer to have when you're having more than 12. I call those a lawn mowing beer. Bradley says some cheap beers. Blatz, Schlitz, Schaefer, Pabst, Milwaukee's Best. The Beast. Milwaukee's Best. That's the Beast. I don't think I've ever drank a Blatz or a Schlitz or a Schaefer. I don't know if I've ever had a PBR. I've had the Beast. And I think I had one on purpose. Chocolate. Did somebody say chocolate? Lemon meringue pie. I'm good with lemon meringue pie. I like a lemon meringue pie. I like lemon. I love lemon bars. Nothing beats a good pecan pie. Rich says, to Max, chocolate is a common theme. Tracy says, rhubarb pie. Good memories of that from my grandma. Same. My grandma had a rhubarb patch in the backyard. She would whip up some homemade rhubarb pies. Uncle Rich says, dude, next time you come to the Dallas Card Show, peach cobbler is a staple here. Well, shit. Do they have it in Hutchins? I bet they do. I need some peach cobbler. Genesee is a classic with us coal crackers in PA. What the fuck is a pecan pie? Pecan? A pecan pie. Max says, secret for you, Door County cherries are no different than cherries from anywhere else. And I still can't believe people like to go there to vacation. I've only been to Door County once. Ernie is freshman of the year and friendliest pup. He might get like a friendly award because I think when they told my wife when she picked him up one day, they're like, he's a friend to all. Gem City says a yearbook. Let's see trading cards instead. Let's see. So there's a really awesome photo on the Dogtopia. See if I'm logged in. And it's like Ernie and his rough gang of friends. They just posted. I don't know if they have like a new marketing person, but they like post pictures all the time, which is awesome. Much better. Oh, geez, 2020. All right. Oh, I'm like, they're like closing indefinitely. I'm like, oh, that was COVID. Okay, posts. All right. So here, let's share the screen. Where are we at? Dave Arnold, Keystone Light, a Macomb staple. Yes, it is. Is that right? Was it like the there's Ernie right there. There's little Ernie smiling for the camera. Look at him cheesing. Big Ern. Let's see, there's Kane. I think it's in here. All right, let's look at dogs. I think that's Augie. That's Ernie's girlfriend. Augie. Let's see. There's Ernie. Looks like he just woke up from a nap. That's his leave me alone face. Like, I just want to sleep. I think that's one of his friends. I can't remember this one's name. A little Frenchie. Oh, he's a cutie. Or she. Pink collar, probably a she. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, that's a video. Oh, nap time. Just chilling. That's the big dog room. All right. Can't beat pictures of dogs. Where's the photo? There's three. There's Ernie hanging out. The other dog is just chilling. Ernie's playing in the fort. That's Spaz. That's Ernie's best friend. Doggy daycare best friend. Spaz. Where's the, come on. Oh, close time. Maybe I didn't. May 13th. Yeah, I think this is where the photos were. That's another video. Looks like the dogs are singing. Oh. Maybe it was not in this. Oh, wow. Look at that. Group photo time. No Ernie in that one. King of the cooler. I think that's Spaz. I think that's Spaz right there. Pool party. There it is. There it is. Spaz that's Ernie to the far right, Spaz in the middle, and I'm not sure that might be Zorro on the far left. I can't remember that one's name, but look at that gang. Tough looking gang right there. Don't want to meet these in a dark alley. Ernie, Spaz, and the other one. All right. Where are we at? Max says, please tell me there's at least one person that got the chocolate reference. Brian, counting on you, I guess. I did not get that reference. Aaron says, 50 years old and you'll still find Natty in my fridge. Max says, the front of Dogtopia reminds me of the reception area of a Church of Scientology building. I will tell you, the actual reception area of Dogtopia looks nothing like what you saw. Donnie Davis says, boosh. Damn, so much cuteness in those photos. Max says, file this in front of Bracket Talk. Rich says, this is great. Who cares about eBay Live Talk? Give us more of these pups. Joseph, what's going on? Happy Friday. He's got 2 questions. We might have some answers. Victor, the rookie card specialist, good morning. So we've gone from beer talk to cobblers and now pup picks. Yeah, sounds like a typical Friday at Hobby Evolution. That's what we do here. It is a free-for-all. Joseph says, 1, are you making more with eBay Live than traditional eBay sales? Yes, by a lot. Number 2, how are we peons able to sell on eBay Live? That I don't know yet. I think there's an application process, but right now eBay is going through like a selection process. So I guess apply, put your name out there. It helps if you have social media presence, live selling experience. I know the big takeaways is like your eBay volume, like kind of the things they're looking for is your eBay volume, your social media presence, like followers and on various platforms. And then do you have live selling experience, or, do you have a YouTube channel, stuff like that. So those are some of the things they look for in that process. Rich says, Victor, it is a free for all. Max says, like all the sterile new card shops that popped up, something is wrong right away. Rich says, Max, I just looked up your reference. That's amazing. Chocolate line is from SpongeBob. Crowd too old here, I'm sure. Yes, I am definitely, I wouldn't say definitely too old, but SpongeBob is definitely not that was long after. When was SpongeBob? When did SpongeBob first air? SpongeBob first episode, 1999. So I was just finishing up my junior year of high school when the first episode aired. So I was definitely out of the SpongeBob demographic. Max says y'all need like Howdy Doody and shit like that. Now that's a little, maybe Rich, but no, Howdy Doody was, hell, that was my dad. My dad would have been like 85. That was my dad's range. I was G.I. Joe and He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Dan's in the house. What's going on? He says, I'm not that old. That's right. We're getting ready to play Name That Player. Hey, speaking of going back to Joseph's comment about eBay Live and my sales, I wanted to look up my sales to date. So my goal year over year, my aim was to make 40% more in 2025 than I did in 2024, which is you would think is nearly impossible. And it would have been very difficult without eBay Live. I would have had to, without eBay Live, I was trending like 15 to 20% higher, and I had a really good fourth quarter last year. So it was going to be really difficult unless I made some massive changes to my business. Raising the average sale price probably would have been the biggest. That would have been the biggest thing. Volume wasn't going to get me there. It was going to have to be higher value items. But I'm at 39% year over year. eBay Live is a huge part of that. Let's just take a look at this month. This month compared to last month, my sales in May over the same period in April are up 472%. Same period last year is 109%, which that's a little surprising. That the start of my April was so bad this year. Let's see. I am making about I am doing about 3x. I am doing about 3x on eBay Live than I am on static selling on eBay. So, and that's, on a few auctions a week, basically. So looking to get that number up so I can grow my sales number even more. Uncle Rich says, Howdy Doody ended before I was born. Hatched, as the missus says. The action figure age. Here's a piece of plastic. Get lost, kid. Absolutely. Now it's what would you rather do? Here's a piece of plastic, kid. Get lost. Or here's a screen. Go watch SpongeBob SquarePants on your iPad. That's the new generation. They're both equally like, here, go play with this. Rich says Captain Kangaroo is from my childhood, as was Bozo the Clown. Every town had one. Yeah, I grew up on Bozo. Tom says Warner Brothers cartoons were the best. Dan said Dan was on the Bozo show. Oh, but he didn't make it to the floor. But you were still on the show. But I did make it on TV while in the audience. That is odd. Do you have like a video of that? Are there like old Bozo shows? I bet there's old like Bozo shows on YouTube. There was a local show, and it probably was a syndicated national show. Miss Patty was the lady's name. Romper Room in the Quad Cities. And maybe it was nationwide. I don't know. But I think it ended like when I was I remember like I had some friends that were on it when I was like preschool or maybe like even before preschool. But I think it ended like in the mid 80s. Like I don't remember watching it. Like it was before my memory time. Bozo show. Bozo show episodes. So here's one from 1988. Here's a complete broadcast from September 10th, 1979. October 31st, 1979, October 30th, 1979. So if it was in 1979, hey, we might be in luck. All right. So where are we at? Video games, 100%. I hated vehicles and action figures as a kid. LOL. Oh man, I was a vehicle action figure nut. Matchbox cars. Max was playing with Barbies. I was playing with Matchbox. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's okay, Max. You can play with Barbies. It's okay. But I was a big Matchbox fan. I had bins of Matchbox cars. I wasn't big into Legos. I had Legos, but I was more of a Matchbox. When I was young, I was into action figures. I wasn't into the older I got, the less into action figures I was. But when I was like a little kid, He-Man and G.I. Joe, like I loved those action figures. Matchbox cars was my thing. That was my jam as a kid. And then of course, baseball cards. Orlando says Rich is old. Mr. Rogers was what I remember. Oh yeah. I think we all grew up on Mr. Rogers. The action figures are worth more than the cards now. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. And I remember my mom like probably like when I'm in high school and college, like, and I'm not playing with my, I don't do action figures or Legos or toys or baseball cards. It's like, don't sell my baseball cards. Because we grew up in the era of our parents telling us, well, my mom threw my baseball cards away. So we didn't want mom to throw our because they were going to be worth something still, even when we probably knew they weren't. But it's like, yeah, you can put those G.I. Joes, put them for $0.25, put those He-Mans up for $0.25 at garage sales. And now it's like, fuck. I had her keep the 1990 Donruss Commons and sell my He-Man figures for $0.25. Like, damn it. I made a fatal mistake. Dan says, my friend's parents waited like 20 years for tickets. Holy shit. Max says, Duryea, correct. Made thousands on him. I thank your generation. Rich says, we had Romper Room on Channel 9, WOR in New York. So Romper Room was a national thing. So I wonder what Romper Room. So did each market have like a different lady? Because like we went to like there was a studio in the Quad Cities and it was like Miss Peggy, I think was her name. Romper Room air dates. Now we're talking about Romper Room. We went from beer to chocolate to dogs to TV shows from our childhood. Romper Room. Apparently it aired till 1994, but it didn't in the market I was in. Like I think it ended in the mid 80s. Romper Room was a American children's television series that was franchised and syndicated from 1953 to 1994. The program targeted preschoolers 5 or younger and was created and produced, blah, blah, blah. The national version was presented by Nancy Terrell and filmed in Baltimore from its inception in 1953. Where's East Coast Tom? So Romper Room. Other local affiliates. Yeah. So ours was like the small affiliate in I wonder if I can find the Quad Cities version. Romper Room. Miss Peggy. So there's a lot like in retro Quad Cities Facebook groups. What happened to Miss Peggy? I wonder if there's got to be a red. Oh, we'll do that another day. Dan says, I think I was on the show around 88 to 90. Rich says, Bozo on YouTube pilot from 1954. Max says, WGN, Bozo, and the Cubs didn't get any better. Absolutely. Max says, Barbie is an action figure. LOL. Nope. And yes, a male shouldn't play with Barbies. Let's not go there. Jody says, my father was a stagehand in New York, and he used to throw the pie at Bozo's face, and he used to work Romper Room all the time. Oh, that's awesome. Rich says, I'm now officially 26 days away from being eligible for Medicare. There you go. Good morning. TD Sports Cards in the house. So yes, I'm embracing the old. Orlando says, what a fun job, Jody. Pie throwing. Yeah. There's the Wikipedia page. Victor's in the house. Good morning. Local and syndicated. Jody says, yes, Bozo had local shows, the main one in Chicago. Interesting. Okay. I didn't know Bozo was or franchised either. Obviously, I grew up in the Chicago, the Chicago-ish market, I guess. Dead Dude from Duryea says, Channel 9, WOR, had the Howard Stern show on Saturday night, a different type of educational program. I remember discovering the Howard Stern TV show when it aired on like Comedy Central in the mid to late 90s. Learned a lot. East Coast Tom says, yes, I watched Romper Room, but the Washington, D.C. version. Interesting. All right, let's play Name That Player. Let's play Name That Player. I think I'm going to have to get a post-it for a couple of these. Let's run the scoreboard. Did I run? Oh, no, here. All right. Let's get the scoreboard rolling. Name That Player leaderboard. Max has taken the lead because Shane was digging through bargain boxes at the Dallas Card Show 2 weeks ago. So it's 13-11. Michael Renicky has 7. Uncle Rich 6. Spam Likely rose up the leaderboard to 5 points. Oh, it was E. Yes, Max. It was on E. That's right. It was on E. Next channel over, yeah. Rich says he had a good old time at the Dallas Card Show as well. Let's get my phone up. Oh, what's this? Oh, Jesus. All right. Where are we at? But is now looking for other closer to home places to source cards, other shows closer to home even. Okay, so we got the leaderboard. All right, let's roll. We don't need that. Name that player. Rules are last name only, and you must spell it correctly. Last name only, spelled correctly. Here we go. First up, we've got some football. Oh, I was going to bring up my YouTube. That's what I was doing. We have some correct answers, and the first, Max with the first. Rich was second. Fran Tarkenton. And that's 14 for Max. Next, we're going baseball. I think it's mostly baseball today. All right. Modern baseball. Modern baseball. Do you know your Bowman? Peter says baseball is the best ball. I agree. Hey, speaking of ball, though, I actually watched some basketball playoffs last night. Looks like we have a correct answer. We've got a couple correct answers. It is not Jaren Duran. It's Roman Anthony. Max was first. Rich was second. Uncle Rich just coming up the bridesmaid again. Where are we at? Max with the point. And that's 15. We're going, vintage football. Vintage football. Here's a good one. This is a good one. Vintage football. Rich says Max has the closer to home internet. Yeah, Rich all the way down there in Dallas. Max is just a couple hours north. It is Doug Buffone. Dave Arnold with the point. Rich was second. Dan was third. Doug Buffone. Dave Arnold with the point. And where's he at? Dave. I thought Dave had points. No? First point this round for Dave. All right. Next up, more modern baseball. Rich says, Dan, not on my screen. Not on my screen either. Rich says, I was the first one on mine. Not on mine. We've had this talk before. Come on, Dan. Stop being senile. All right, here we go. Modern baseball. Make sure you spell it correctly. Peter! No! The first to spell it correctly was Max. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, man. All right. I think that was all right. So Peter spelled it incorrectly, and Max spelled it correctly. And then it was oh, wait, no. I don't think Max did spell it correctly. No, he did not spell it. Oh, wait, yes, he did. Here we go. Okay, there we go. I had the wrong one up. So this was the first one. All right. McKinstry. Yes, correct. All right. So Max with the point. And that's 16. All right. Next up. And that was the gimme. And we've got Cubbies. Is Dave Arnold? Dave Arnold gonna know this one? It's got to be spelled correctly. I was very disappointed when I learned the proper pronunciation of this player's name. I was very disappointed. It's not Tim. It does look like Tim Stoddard. It's Jay. Now it's spelled Baller. And if you've ever seen his 1988 Topps baseball card, it's like, yeah, that Jay is a baller. No, it's Baller. I was so disappointed when I learned that his name is Jay Baller, not Jay Baller. First to get that was Rich Klein. Rich with the point on Jay Baller. Uncle Rich ties Michael Renicky. Michael Renicky, MIA today. Shane, MIA today. All right, next. Now, let me see. Before I'm not going to give a hint. Just checking something here. Oh, okay. Nope. Never mind. No hint. All right, here we go. Yeah, we can still call him Jay Baller. We got Modern Baseball, some Bowman. The White Sox. Dan, is Dan going to get this? It is not Michael Kopech. It is not Jonathan Cannon. That dude from Duryea gets it. It is Hagen Smith. Hagen Smith. That dude with the point. And that dude has 2. All right, next up, we got Vintage Baseball. That dude. Thought Ernie would be up, or at least up by now, but that means I may have to go get the door when it rings in a few minutes. All right, next up, Vintage Baseball. One of my favorite sets, 1978 Topps. Atlanta Braves. Last name only. Correct spelling. Jerry Royster is correct. I think Uncle Rich got it. Jerry Royster is correct. Uncle Rich with the point. We're going to do 80s baseball next. Uncle Rich is now in third place. Third place. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Next up, 80s baseball. Dan says Royster was the first foreign KBO manager. 80s baseball. Card Fellas has checked in. What's up? Tim Raines is correct. Peter with the point. Peter. Tim Raines. Where's Peter at? Is that your first point this round? It is. Peter. All right. Next up, Modern Baseball. Modern Baseball. Dan says, this has got to be me, a full 2 seconds after me. Dan, you, let's see, we're 1, 2, 3, 4. You were 5th. You were 5th on my side. Modern Baseball. Modern Baseball. Ketel Marte. Max with the point. Ketel Marte. We're going more vintage next. 17 for Max. All right, next up, vintage. 74 tops. Traded to the Royals. Who was it? Traded to the Kansas City Royals. Who did he from the Pirates? It is Nelson Bryles. Dave Arnold with the point. Nelson Bryles. Going to Dave. Dave with his second point. We've got more 80s baseball. All right, Dave. All right, 80s baseball coming at you. Here we go. 80s baseball. Who is this? Cleveland Indians pitcher. He was probably only 27 in this photo. Phil Niekro. Niekro. Tom with the point because Peter spelled it wrong. Phil Niekro. East Coast Tom. Is that East Coast Tom's first point? I think so. Tom Coleman on the board. Next up. Oh, we got back-to-back vintage. Oh, this is where I need to use the Post-it note. Back-to-back vintage. We're going 70s baseball. 77 tops. Dave Arnold with the point, spelled correctly. Mick Kelleher. Mick Kelleher. Dave Arnold. We got one last vintage left. Dave with the point. A couple points for Dave today. And he's up to 3. Actually, I think he had all 3 points today. Dave moving up. And one last card, 74 tops baseball. Houston Astros. Dan wants a non-sport crooner card. 74 tops baseball. Milt May. There's the doorbell. Just in time. Milt May is correct. Uncle Rich with the point. All right. So our leaderboard. Max in the lead with 17. Shane still in second place with 11. Uncle Rich in third with 9 points. Michael Renicky in fourth with 7. Span Likely in fifth with 5. Dave Arnold soaring to 6th place today with 3 points. I'm going to hit the like button while I have my phone on me. Boom. Like button engaged. Would appreciate it if you do as well. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Coming up Sunday, a 2 for eBay Live. Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, we'll run progressives. Sunday afternoon, probably 20, maybe 25. See how many we can get through. So progressive auctions on Sunday afternoon. Sunday night, we're running singles, 7 p.m. Central. All sports, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, Sunday singles on eBay Live. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy those card shows out there. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning here on Hobby Evolution. See you then.